cursed by devils. That's what the locals say about Chibai Nong. Named after the rugged karst landforms that surround it, the township has been identified as one of the most inhospitable places on Earth by UN officials. More than 1,300 giant funnel-like depressions dot the landscape, draining all the water to the bottom, the only place where humans can survive.
We're here in Chibai County in South China's Guangxi Autonomous Region. This region is home to around 20,000 people who are mainly from the Yao ethnic minority group. About 40% of the population here is below the poverty line, which for this region is 3,000 yuan per person per year.
The food grown here is never enough to feed the locals, and despite the severe food shortage, families are big. Mao Mei Cho lives with her 5 children and elderly father-in-law in an over 100-year-old house in one of the depressions in Chibai Nong. Mao's family survive under the poverty line. Her husband works in the provincial capital Nanning and sends back money when he can, from several hundred to 1,000 yuan at a time. Mao raises a few chickens and ducks provided by local authorities, who also offer subsidies to impoverished households. Organic chickens from Chibai Nong can sell for around 100 yuan each, more than other farm or factory-raised chickens on the market. In addition to developing the poultry and livestock industries, the local government is also helping villages to renovate thatched houses and build roads to every village with more than 20 households. Relocation has also been offered to those who live in extremely remote areas. Meng Guiyou's family moved to a newly built house in Chibai Nong Township earlier this year. Meng and his wife both worked in Guangdong province for 10 years. In May last year, Meng came back to the village to take care of his son and 2 daughters. His wife and 2 older daughters work together in a factory in Guangdong. For those who have to stay in the village to care for their children, there are limited work opportunities. Meng now works as a general labourer, helping others to build their homes, and earns about 100 to 200 yuan a day. The government gives a subsidy of 5,000 yuan per person for families to build a new house, and encourages the houses to be built in townships next to the road, not only for convenient transportation, but also for developing tourism. In 2009, Chibai Nong was designated a National Geological Park. Local people have opened homestays and restaurants for tourists and take actions to improve the ecological environment. Chibai Nong has just started to implement a combination of ecological protection and poverty alleviation. Meanwhile, 110 kilometers away, Nongla village can be seen as a success story.
We're walking up to the top of the mountain to get the best views over Nongla village. Over 30 years ago, there were no trees on this mountainside. It was all just bare rock. There was no way for the local residents to climb the mountain to grow any trees or any other vegetation to protect the environment.
In the 1960s, all the trees around Nongla were cut down to fuel the fires of the steelmaking industry. These mountains were bare rock. Each rainfall washed away more of the little soil that remained. Villagers couldn't grow anything here, and the livestock they raised had barely any vegetation to eat. In the early 1970s, the local government enforced a ban on cutting trees in the area. As vegetation slowly began to grow again, the villagers adopted a model of planting fruit trees on the lower slopes around the village, quick-growing bamboo on the middle slopes, and allowing the original trees and grasses to regrow on the upper, steepest areas. The ecological environment has gradually improved. but the poverty remained until a man returned from working outside the region. His name is Li Rongguang. Li had a plan to turn his poor but beautiful birthplace into a tourist area. He enlisted government support and formed a cooperative so that all the villagers could share in the profits.
我们弄了是在08年成立这个合作社搞旅游开发，因为祖辈下来，他们已经封山育林，把这个石墨画做得比较完整、比较好。我们既然打造了这么多年，这个生态做好了，我们怎么把它变成财富？
In 2008, the average income of Nongla's 26 households was below 3,000 yuan per person per year. By 2016, that had grown to over 10,000 yuan. The main income for the cooperative comes from the hotel and parking fees at the scenic area. Access to the scenic area is free.
So from here you get the best views over Nongla village. Originally this was just a small hamlet with a few families living in the valley. Once the government built in the road and then the tourism development started to take off, they cemented over this valley to build a car park for the tourists to come. They built a hotel, you can see here, and a restaurant, and they extended the small shrine to become a large Buddhist temple.
In order to facilitate the development of the tourist area, the villagers moved from their mountaintop homes to Nongla New Village, an area of newly built houses located in the nearby township. Li Rongguang used his own money and government subsidies to build 14 four-story houses for the families who moved first. Another 16 houses are under construction.
因为从现在给我们的游客量就一天比一天多，那收入肯定是，这是很好的。我们以后的日子肯定是红红火火的，真的，因为我们路子走对了，我们有了这个千山路水，这个是很长久的。
As well as the money earned through the cooperative, many of the villagers now have a stable income by working in the tourist area. The younger generation, many of whom left the village to study or work elsewhere, have largely returned. They see the prospects the development of ecotourism in the village has brought. Guangxi is one of the poorest regions in China and is a major focus of the government's efforts to alleviate poverty by 2020. Over 1 million people were lifted out of poverty in Guangxi in 2016, the most of any region of China. The goal for 2017 is a further 700,000 people.